Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. The rise of video games in the United Kingdom and Japan, and the fall in North America. All that and more here on Chronologically Gaming. Welcome everyone to March 1982. We last played Alibaba and the 40 Thieves in the arcade, the latest maze game by Sega. I'm telling you, that Service Games company, they're going somewhere. And let's see what our next game is. We're next playing Apple Panic for the Commodore VIC-20. Let's take a look at Apple Panic, starting with the box. Apple Panic, of course, was on the Apple II, so these variations of Apple Panic don't really make sense because it was supposed to be for the Apple, but now we're going to play it on other computers. Obviously based on Space Panic back in 1980. No additional memory required. That's the way we like it. So this one looks like about basically the same. Got some cartoonish artwork on the front where a giant apple's coming after you. And we got to have the joystick. Yes. Love the games with the joystick. Let's flip it over on the back. You're besieged by a number of wandering apple monsters, which you must destroy by digging holes in the brick floors for them to fall into. Once an apple's gotten stuck in the hole, you have to mash it through the hole by beating it over the head. If you get the apple too late, it may crawl out of the hole and get you. So it requires joystick. You use the button to beat the monster, and it looks like you use one of the buttons to fill the hole up and the other one to dig the hole. Red apple is 100 points and bonus points. And then, how do you load the game? We can breeze by that because most of our games go in easily.
It comes to video games.
Love it. Let's see what other artwork we have for Apple Panic. There is the example of the cartridge we'll be popping in our VIC-20. And for other versions, we have lots of alternate versions and variations that you could play on the cartridge or popping in and playing Apple Panic. It's the beginning of March 1982. And this is by Broderbund, published by Creative Software for the VIC-20. Yes. Now, this is kind of a preamble to Lode Runner. In fact, this character looks a little Lode Runner-ish, but bear in mind, we have not seen Lode Runner yet. Broderbund is the one that'll bring it to us. Yeah, joystick's working the way it's supposed to. Oh, not way too close to that guy. Let's see if we go up this ladder here. And he gets us by grabbing our head, like a head crab from Half-Life. These don't even look like apple monsters, by the way. These just look like monsters. Slugs on the floor. I think they took the volume level of you walking a little bit too hard. I'm ready to dig now. I'm pushing the dig button, but nothing is happening. Oh, I see. So you just tap it and it digs for you. And then when you go away, it leaves. So I was holding the button down, expecting it to dig like it was on the Apple II. All right, let's see if we can make a chain happen here. And we'll dig in this spot. No! Yeah, the button to respond for the dig isn't as responsive. I got head crabbed again by the apple monsters. Yeah, the way my legs are bouncing up and down, I'm a little too excited. Or maybe I'm excited to get away from these guys. Well, at least they didn't make them look like apples, like the Apple version, because it's supposed to be, oh, dig, dig, dig. Let me try a double tap. Go, 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 double tap. No, yeah, the button to dig doesn't really respond as well as you'd hope. Like, if I wanted to dig next to it, and of course you can fall through. It's slightly clunky, but the original Space Panic was a little better. But I will admit, the one we played on the Apple II was still slightly clunky as well. It's the mechanic of changing a game from this perspective, the 2D view, and there's no jumping like a platformer, but changing it from, instead of shooting things, you actually have to be a little strategic, putting the holes in a certain place, trapping an enemy, and then taking care of the enemy. It is all random, though, taken from the inspiration of Hayunkyo Alien in Japan. You did the same thing where you had to let random enemies wander into the holes. Look at that, he just runs away. Come on, come on, take the bait. There you go. Nice. And you can make more combinations and more points if they fall through several floors at once. Oh yeah, Mr. Do is a good shout-out as well. So many things that came from this one, but Space Panic we first saw in 1980, and then Apple Panic we saw in 81. And this is really cool that we're seeing this by Broderbund now for other systems or home computers, because eventually we're going to get Lode Runner. All right, so that was Apple Panic for the VIC-20. Of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's above average. Even though it has the clunky controls, I would still say 3.5 stars, considering every other game we've seen up to this point. It is slightly inspirational, but still fun to play. A different experience. All right, and let's see our another version of Apple Panic. This is Apple Panic for the IBM. Let's see what the difference is, starting with the box. Change it up a little bit. Oh yeah, it's real Apple Panic. Giant apples coming after you. I'm getting vibes of the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes for some reason. It kind of looks like that. Let's flip it over in the back. The object is to destroy the little apples chasing you by digging holes in the brick floors for them to fall into. Once an apple's gotten stuck, you have to knock it through the hole by beating it over the head. Movement is controlled by the keyboard, so we're going to use I, J, K, M, up, down, left, and right to dig the hole, and then A or S. So it's using the two controls to, one button to dig, another button to smash them through. Yeah, and the music, I think we're going to have every version a different movement sound. Like to walk across the screen, they're going to change it up. How do you get extra lives, scoring, and then advanced monsters? So we have a different one in this one. Nice. Oh, and then down at the bottom, I like it. Take me to your ladder. Another one, classic game by Broderbund. This one we have the IBM PC manual as well. Moving on your little man is A and Z, and then Q, comma, and I'm guessing apostrophe for controls. So I'm going to have to be using a little keyboard controls, little weird ones there. Object is to destroy the apples, chasing them, and this one does have the advanced monsters, extra lives, and scoring. All right, now it's time to play some Apple Panic. Hey, this is by Olaf Lubeck. Still Broderbund, and way to go, Olaf. You're getting the IBM to play sound for us? That's very rare right now. To have the IBM play a little ditty before the game? I dig it. All right, we're in. I would say that walking sound is much better than we heard on the VIC-20 for sure. All right, so I'm going to find a good spot to start digging and see... Oh, yeah, the controls are a lot better. Oh, I got them. Okay. At least the controls are responding. When I say dig a hole, it does it. I'm going to get away from those guys. Is one of them actually chasing me? Okay, good. Come on, take the bait. All right, we'll dig down below here. Oh, I love this one. Yeah, IBM's even better. VIC-20 had the idea of the game, but this one's running very well. Controls, well, I'm doing the keyboard, but controls are working pretty good. All right, and pop goes the weasel to the public domain sounds we've heard so far. The opening sound that we just heard for this game, I think that was original. I don't think that was a public domain. But don't quote me on that. There's so much out there that's free that people are going to be using for games. Oh, can we not dig here? No, I guess you can't dig in between. Okay, you can do it here. Oh, yes. Oh, just barely. So yeah, the other thing this version does is it allows you to, while you start digging, they get trapped in the hole, which is a nice touch. All right, let's go here in case someone comes up. Oh yeah, this is a blast. Yeah, the IBM version of Apple Panic, I'm going to notch that one higher. That one's better controls, feels smoother. We'll go 4 stars for Apple Panic. Yeah, obviously they're going to need a more powerful system and pay a lot more, but yeah, Apple Panic on MS-DOS is an excellent title. Of course, we were playing very, very quickly. I think we're playing on a 386 to get this one to run the way it was. And obviously at the time, you could have lots of different memory or what system you were using to get different performance in there. We didn't have the coffee animation, but the coffee animation guy reminded me of the Load Runner. So it actually made it feel like we were getting closer to Load Runner playing the VIC-20. But still an awesome time. And finally, our last version of Apple Panic on the Atari home computer. Let's take a look at this one, starting with the box. Looks like similar artwork and believed to be the same in the back. This one requires 16K. We're going to play on the Atari 800 with a joystick. Also coded by Olaf Lubeck. Way to go, Olaf. Any other artwork we have for Apple Panic? Oh, okay, we got 2 different boxes that were possible. Box fronts, and I believe that is it. We'll see if this guy's stiff or not. So this one has a few different versions. Some of them don't even use the joystick. There's one that requires 16K, another one requires 32K, and then some of them have a title when you boot it up or not. We're going to play the best of the best with a joystick, 32K. It has the title. It's the beginning of March 1932. Let's go. Apple Panic for the Atari home computer. Yeah, there we go. I think Olaf did all three. All by Broderbund. Very nice title screen. Let's push start and get right to it. So this is mashing the start button on the system. We didn't get the song in the beginning like on the IBM, but hey, joystick works. Oh man, yeah, we look real... What? My legs aren't as crazy, but my arms are more crazy in this one. Oh, but the button doesn't... I'm smashing the red button and it's like on the VIC-20. What is with the... Okay, now it works. I don't know what's up with the Apple Panic game. Sometimes working and sometimes not. Okay, we'll take care of this guy. Come here, buddy. Mash him on the head. And also notice that the IBM was the only one that actually had apples that were attacking you. The other one is making it look like aliens. So it's closer to Space Panic, or feels more like Space Panic. So why'd they call it Apple Panic? It was called Apple Panic because it was on the Apple II, the original one. Oh, he's chasing. Okay, he didn't go after me. Good. All right, so again, I'm pushing the button and he's not digging. He stops. I don't get it. I'm gonna get caught if he keeps doing that. I wonder if I'm supposed to do a movement with... Oh, he got me when I was trying to fill the hole up. If you're supposed to use the joystick to come down, but... Hey, wait, the color palette changed. That's a nice touch. We're on the same level, though, so... I don't know if that's intentional or not. The game knows I'm pushing the button to dig. Very bizarre. Quirky. But I guess that's true to the Apple II, because the Apple II, we felt the same way. Yeah, no way. Go away. We got very muted sound of the walking animation, but I don't know what he's doing. It looks like he's hailing a taxi or something. So there you go. There's Apple Panic for the Atari home computer. This one, I'd still say 3.5 for all our versions. IBM is the one that plays better, faster, and actually feels more like Apple Panic. All right, so with the Apple Panics out of the way, let's press forward and see our next game. Oh, another big release. This is the Apventure to Atlantis on the Apple II. Let's take a look at the box for Apventure to Atlantis, and it's not a typo. This is from Robert C. Clardy, who also did Odyssey, the Complete Apventure, purposely misspelled. This is by Synergistic Software. They call this an action adventure, and man, this is the full package. This is one of the best games you could play if you wanted to do a role-playing or adventure game. Excellent front of the box, lots of stuff going on. We're going to be going to different worlds, islands. It's very expansive. Let's flip it over in the back. You can see Apventure to Atlantis is the first new action of adventures, an excellent combination of true role-playing, animated movement, strategy, arcade-like combat, challenging adventure puzzles to solve. This kind of reminds me of releases by Crystalware. They just throw everything in the kitchen sink and just try to do as much as they can. That's what Robert C. Clardy did for this. Nearly 2 man-years of programming and research went into Apventure to Atlantis. New graphic techniques specifically designed for this program make it the most visually appealing of all adventures. So just bear in mind, when we boot this up, they say it's the most visually appealing. This one's going for 40. Really big competition with C.I.A Online with their time zone game, but that one goes for $100 right now. Let's see what other art we have for Apventure to Atlantis. We have the advertisement. The next generation of computer games is here. And yes, it is. You'll see. There's our 5.25 floppy disk. You're going to need 48K to play this on your Apple II. The memory is going up and up. Here's our manual for Apventure to Atlantis. Now, this is the same developer that did the campaign games. Wilderness Campaign, Dungeon Campaign. We just saw the trilogy by him, and this one is like his magnum opus. It's one of the bigger ones of combining lots of elements from those games. We'll breeze by the table of contents because, oh, you can see this is pretty long, though. Lengthy manual, about 26 pages with different figures. So this is a hybrid game, combining the best features of adventure games, arcade, and fantasy role-playing. Adventure takes place in the distant past during the mythic days of Atlantis. The game will never be the same when replayed, so it can be played over and over again without losing its challenge. Since a given game is indeterminately long, it's all up to you. You can save an ongoing game and continue it later. There are 2 basic goals to choose between. You can play to defeat the Atlanteans and accomplish your quest, or you can play for a high score. You also need to determine the nature of the game, specifying that a very fast reaction are needed to eliminate the arcade-like aspects altogether. Yes, Apple Panic, amazing. Apventure to Atlantis will run on any Apple II or 2 Plus, 48Ks needed for it, and it says, looks like reset, escape, period is disable or re-enable sound effects, question mark provides a list. So they're already giving us commands because you need to know those in the game. You also need to use cardinal directions because it's a hybrid graphic adventure, like a Mystery House or Ulysses and the Golden Fleece. And then we have paddles. No way. I'm going to plug the paddle in, see if that works. Any commands that we issue, you don't have to push return. Like whenever, for example, whenever you say G, it automatically types go for you. The road to Atlantis is fraught with many perils, much peril, requiring quick reaction. You start the adventure, you can select a reaction time that will determine how quickly enemies will attack throughout the trek. Lots of things to go over with this one. That's right, I think so. All right, so this is the history of the game, where we're taking, where the land takes place. We're going to breeze by that. Something you would have read if you paid the $40 back in 1982. And then you're going to begin at the Palace of Lowe. And we're getting our information from the Oracle, and it breaks down the character because it has role-playing elements. So you roll dice for your wisdom, intelligence, strength, charisma, and then it says here the probability of response of what happens whenever you have different levels of charisma. And then alignment, morale, it has all this in this game. And then reaction time, how fast enemies are going to be attacking you. One of the commands that you can use during any time of the game is the condition command. When you press C, it summarizes the condition or status of your party, because this game, you don't just play by yourself. You actually get people and recruit them to follow you. You get fighters and wizards to fight with you, and then they break down what the condition display looks like there, and then what the high one's condition is, because we are the high one, obviously. This game is more where you're not actively attacking enemies. You're telling other people how to attack or what to do. So the first thing you do is you have to gather a small force of wizards and warriors, wizards and warriors, that you'll need on the land of Lowe. So before you leave, gather them up, and you're going to be finding that around the land. And there's some examples, the monsters of Lowe that you'll fight. The android, the orc, the demon, the great ape, the ghoul, and the land squid. Nice. And you'll be fighting, I think, Atlantean enemies too. All right. Hey, thanks, Chiptune, for the heads up. I know L. Curtis B sometimes comes late. So the journey begins after you get off the island. Then you go to sea, and then the journey continues in the water. And what you can encounter in the water after you leave the island. And then they explain whenever you go to different areas or different islands, you can search buildings and find different information or items, weapons, armor, and so forth. And they even have, they're slipping in the secret code, which is, again, something you need for the manual. So they're giving you an example of how you play the game. It's similar to the Stone of Sisyphus. Once you get down in a dungeon, you make decisions on what rooms you want to go to, and then it randomly picks rooms for you to play. And you make decisions on those. And then at long last, you reach Atlantis. So this game is very sprawling, very large. And then this is the breakdown of the score table. Still got to have a score, even though it's a role-playing game. Only in 1982. All right, and then they break down magic, because you're going to need to know that in the game. So the manual is pretty lengthy. You can obviously see it's a very complex game. Now let's bust it up. Let's pop in Apventure to Atlantis. Released sometime at the beginning of March 1982 for the low price of $40. Now this one is another game that's combining lots of elements, so let's see how well it delivers on doing a role-playing experience, a graphic adventure game, an action game, or a real-time game, whatever you would want to call it. So not only do we have this awesome high-res picture, take a look at the opening. It actually gives us like a movie opening. We have enemies going away, the text crawl for the intro. Adventure to Atlantis. And it's showing different enemies coming out of the castle, like fighting, to show you what you'll be facing later. Then we have a little, looks like a dragon that's flying in the distance. And then, uh-oh, what's that sound? This is all part of the intro. It even has the volcano exploding. Alright, so we want a new game. We haven't played games this long, but back in 1982, you saved a lot on home computers. We'd be loading games if we played these longer. You're the High One of the Kingdom of Sargallo. You're in your palace on the Isle of Lepore. The kingdom is in great danger, and only you can save it. You must learn about this peril and find the way to resolve it. During your quest, you can press question mark for a list of commands. Very helpful. Throughout, all inputs are limited to 20 characters or less. After you leave Lepore, you can save your game. Only the characteristics of your party, your spells, and your general location are saved. God, the text is going to blind me. It's hard to read. Okay, so what name and title do you want to be addressed? Oh, we get long name we can do. All right, so last person in chat was L. Curtis B. That is your name. Now we get to roll for wisdom. Show me 18. Oh, okay, so we're not super wise. And rolling for intelligence. Oh, yeah, we're super intelligent. All right, so rolling for strength. 13, very nice. Rolling for charisma. Oh, 18, nice. Is this satisfactory? Yeah, let's do it. What is your reaction time? 0 is none, which means it turns into a turn-based game when battles happen, and then 9 is very fast. We'll just do 3, because we kind of get the idea of how turn-based games work. And now the interesting part. We have only seen 1 or 2 other games do this. What is your alignment? -5 to 5. Negative is chaotic, while positive is lawful. So L. Curtis B, we're going to make you -4. Your alignment is slightly evil. Do you want the decoder ring? Sure. Why would you not want the decoder ring? Yeah. Give us the decoder ring. Oh, it's a handicap. Okay. Is everything satisfactory? Yes. So I guess you could play on a harder mode if you didn't use the decoder ring. Oh, yeah. D&D all over the place, right? There's a lot of games we played that are inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. Probably 30 to 40 games so far. All right, the game begins. You're in the throne room. On the table is an orb, a note, and a book. Now, it looks like a graphic adventure game, but here's the catch. The text automatically adds words. So if I say T, it automatically says take, and then I say orb. So I don't have to type in the whole word. Okay, we got it. All right, now let's take. Was it letter? What was the other thing? I forgot what it was. Oh, let's do look. Oh, note and book. Okay, so we do take, note, and T, book. So we're already cutting down on typing when we play the game. And then if I want to go north. Oh, wait, is it south? Okay, so if you push S, that is for summon men. So because I'm in the palace, I just summoned 5 guards, and now I have 5 guards with me in my party. Okay, so we want to go, and let's go north. So I just typed G for go, and then went in for north. You're now in the Oracle's chambers. Do you wish to consult the Oracle? Yes, as long as I don't have to pay money. The monsters in your kingdom are being brought here by your enemies. Watch the wall behind me, and you shall see. Behold, this is a remote section of your island. Even now, an enemy is approaching. Oh, cool. It's like watching a video. Yes, I know. How do you have time to play these games? I'm sure this one people spent months and months playing this one. As you can see, a flying mechanism of some kind is landing on your island and releasing monsters. They are from Atlantis. Wait, Atlantis has flying mechanisms? You must gather a force of wizards, travel to Atlantis, and stop these invaders before they reduce the kingdom to ruins and conquer us. You must know, however, Atlantis is an island, and it cannot be approached by sea. It is ringed by impassable reefs. I can help you no more. What do you want to do? Well, now I want to get out of there. Go back south. All right, so again, you have to know the commands. If I say E, it exits, and now I'm out of the house, or out of the castle. And it goes to the main island of Lepore. So now what do we want to do? And now it's very similar to the other games by Robert C. Clardy. You make decisions on this graphic map, and then random battles happen. We have the enemy. We have 5 men on our side. So let's say go west, and you can see my character just slightly went west, and then go west. And we've encountered a sorcerer's apprentice. What do you want to do? Can we do S? Oh, we can't summon men here. What about R to recruit? R is to read. No, I don't want to read. Let's do attack, flee, or go. Go west. And what you do on this island, the first phase of the game, is you're supposed to recruit wizards to join your cause, so you have a larger army, and then find the way to get off the island and travel to Atlantis. And the reason they say that every time you play the game is different is because every time we move, if I go west again, it's having random things happen. It has great replayability. So if I keep going west, you can see my little character is slowly moving one tile at a time to the west. Keep going west. Let's see what that white thing is. Let's go north. Go north. Anything there? Nope. Go north. Nothing there. And you make your way around the map. I kind of enjoyed this when we first played Odyssey, the complete Apventure, which is a pain to say. But it was still a lot of fun to see yourself move around the map. Oh, you've encountered a Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now, I need to know how to recruit this guy, because you're supposed to recruit more magicians to follow your side, along with the 5 men you have, whenever you start attacking enemies. Where's the commands, man? I think it was back up here. North, south, east, west. Oh, okay, we can put question mark. That's right. Question mark. Question commands are go, castle, read, take, off, use, inventory. Oh, maybe it's W for wizards? Okay. So... W? You don't have any wizards with you. Okay, so W is to command the wizards you have. But this is the very beginning of the game. Obviously, after you mass your army, and then you start doing battles here on the enemies that have landed on this land, then you have to find a way to get off the island. And so it incorporates the puzzle elements of a graphic adventure game while also sprinkling in Dungeons and Dragons. It does so much. And the way that the battles are held are done in a more of an action-based way. So of all the games we've seen up to this point, even though we just played a taste of it, you can see this game you could play for months and months, and then you have the replayability. So I'm going to say of all the games we've seen up to this point, this is one of the best if you wanted to play like a graphic adventure game with the interactive fiction elements. It's one of the best. I'm going to say 4.5 stars. Robert C. Clardy did an excellent job. 4.5 for Apventure to Atlantis. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game.
These families are learning about
We're now on the Atari home computer, and this is Asteroid Miners.
These families are learning about
Let's take a look at the box for Asteroid Miners, a unique game tutorial. This is by Mark Chasin and MMG Micro Software. This one you need 32K, your disk drive on Atari, basic, and a joystick. Way to go, Mark. That's a great question, Chiptune. A lot of the games we play that are ranked higher levels, I end up playing a little after the stream's over. So whenever we get to a game that's really, really good, I want to see more of it. I've even debated if I want to do a live stream where we play some of the games longer, but I really need more of a following to have the time or justify the time to play more of these games, because we've seen some arcade games that I wanted to keep going to see the next levels, and I ended up doing it later. So Asteroid Miners is a unique game tutorial. It's truly that. 32 game written in basic, 3 levels of difficulty. At the easiest, it's a race against time. At the hardest, strategy and speed are both critical. Can you beat the high scores before time runs out? Get the valuable asteroids, but avoid the duds. Above all, be careful. Asteroid Miners comes with a 50-page book. I don't know if we have the 50-page book. Do we have the manual? We do. Well, we have the manual. Let's see other artwork first for Asteroid Miners. And on the back, they've kind of scribbled in the box for disc. I don't know if I can give up sleep right now. I'm already a bare bones sleep when it comes to reviewing and preparing for the show. So we have an advertisement for Asteroid Miners. It also comes with Career Counselor, which we'll ignore that one. MMG educational packages. Now, it's not an educational game, not to my knowledge. Maybe the other one was. Let's see if the manual is a 50-page book. So this is, yes, they call this the tutorial. Oh, the font is just terrible. You've purchased a remarkable teaching aid for Atari Basic. Wait, what? Is Asteroid Miners like a beginner basic game for the Atari? It's arranged from the main loop of controls, located from the lines. What? Yeah, this is this the 50-page manual? It doesn't, it looks a lot. Wow, yeah, so it's maybe a beginner course in basic on the Atari. So I know we're playing a game, but the 2 different versions we have are the disc and cassette version. We'll be playing on the disc. Let's check out Asteroid Miners, and sometime in the beginning of March 1982, by Mark Chasin. Yes, right now I do. Well, probably for the next few years, right? All right, so I'm not familiar then if this is going to be a game or if we're going to be just programming with BASIC. Is that 2001: A Space Odyssey? Yeah. I think that's the second time we've heard 2001. There you go. That's having fun with the sound chip on the Atari 8-bit. That is beautiful. Is this all this is? Is it just a demo playing the 2001 Space Odyssey theme? And there's really not a game? Oh, wait. It is a game. Do you need instructions? Yes, we do. Welcome to Asteroid Miners. The object is to collect as much value as possible by mining the asteroids. 3 different colors of asteroids will be in the field to be mined. Their values are blue, gold, and white. Hit any key to continue. As you can see, you try to collect the blue and gold, but avoid white ones. If there are more than white ones, you'll have to work at it. Your ship is piloted by a joystick, so we get to use the Atari VCS joystick. There are difficulty levels 2 and 3. If you run into an asteroid without cleanly scooping it up, the resulting explosion will rock the galaxy, so please be careful. You only have limited supplies, but your ship will be equipped with a timer that you can count down to 0. If you're skillful enough to gather up all valuable asteroids in one field, you'll be immediately find yourself in another until your timer reaches 0. So it's a timed game with the objective of just collecting everything. It's a collectathon in 1982. Good luck. You're about to embark on a trip through time and space. Yeah, it does seem like Mark was just having some fun with this. Making it, like the 2001 Space Odyssey theme is a genius. Treasure awaits the adventuresome in the depths of space, but for the careless awaits death. My eyes are already at risk playing all these games from the beginning of time. I'm going to need new eyeballs. Are we in? I'm pushing buttons. Oh, degree of difficulty. Oh, yeah, let's try level 1. Get ready. Oh, gosh. What is the... Oh, okay, I was going to say, I can barely see what's happening. Okay, we're in. I'm using the Atari VCS joystick. This is me in the center of the screen controlling a ship that's going around, and I'm guessing this is me mining the asteroids. Yep. Oh, I gotta score a -10. Oh, because they're white. I bet I need to get blue, right? Got it. Okay, so avoid white. Okay, that means gold's good, right? Let's go to the gold one. Oh, no, I can't get the gold one. Maybe it's just blue then. Now, when you push down the red button on your VCS joystick, it just makes you go slightly faster. Yeah, and that's it. You're collecting asteroids of a certain color and then avoiding the other ones. It is a bare bones collectathon game, and then the other levels, like they explained, just get slightly harder on which ones you can or cannot collect. So there you go, Asteroid Miners. I really enjoy the 2001 theme in the beginning, and we've heard some of the best music in video games on the Atari so far. So I'd say of all the games we played, this is around average. 3 stars for Asteroid Miners. It does kind of look that way, right? I'm not sure if it really was. Yeah, and then the page manual was more on explaining BASIC, because I guess they were giving this to people so that they could change the game and use BASIC as a tutorial, like making adjustments to the game in BASIC. So interesting. Well, let's press forward and see our next game. We're on the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Blowup. Blowup is a game that I couldn't get to run quite right. Let's take a look at the artwork for Blowup. This is another one by Noofkop. And I think that's it. Yeah, all we get is the box front. And if we boot it up, you can see what happens. This is by Scott Elder, sometime in the beginning of March 1982. Blowup. The graphics and the model, I've kept trying different versions to play the game, but this is what we got, at least myself, whenever we were booting it up. It's essentially, you're kind of playing the game Painter, where you move around the screen and you're trying to get the color to turn green. And if you get all the patches of green correctly, then you move on to the next level. And you want to avoid bombs, and obviously the walls just stop you. So that's pretty much the premise of the game, but I can't do it justice with this gameplay. If you look over on the left side, that video snapshot is what the game is supposed to look like, but I wasn't able to get the game to run that way. I tried various graphics modes and systems, but still couldn't get it to run that way. Possibly the copy I have, but if you look over on the left, that's the idea of the game. It's more like a puzzle game than an action game or arcade kind of maze game. So I'll still say for all the games we've seen up to this point, it has the elements of a puzzle game. I'll still say about 3 stars. It's about average for all the games we've seen up to this point. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. We're now on the Apple II, and this is BYTE. BYTE is an educational title, and you'll see why we're talking about it. Here's the box for BYTE. The original box by Sunnyside Soft. It was released later, I think in '83, by Sierra Online. This is the first version of it. You can see on the back, it's signed Margaret Paul Lowe and Albert W. Lowe. That's right, Al Lowe did this game. And you can see here, this is them with their first company, Sunnyside Soft, for BYTE. Any other artwork we have for BYTE? There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk. With the sleeve that we had said, the elephant never forgets again. All right, let's slide in some BYTE. This is by Al Lowe. Released sometime in the beginning of March 1982. Yes. So here we go. One of the first games that Al Lowe ever programmed. So do we want keyboard or joystick? You can do either one. I'm going to do keyboard. And let's change the keys up because I want to make them the way we want. And then let's have space. I want that one. And A, Z, left, right. Got it. There we go. So you want to play the game or read the instructions? We're just going to play because I'll explain how the game works. It's an educational title. Animation is created with a graphic magician by Penguin Software. The same one we read about in Byte magazine. All right, press the key to continue. Be sure to bop the letters in alphabetical order. You can bop the bonus bags in any order you want. The bopper only bops when you're moving left or right. You cannot bop while stopped or while moving up and down. I think I've said bop too many times. During the game, you can turn the sound on or off by pressing the S key or holding down the control key. And pause with the escape key. All right, so we want any key to begin. This is their loading screen, I guess. Now, it's an educational title, but it has the twist of an arcade maze game. No more practice. Let's go. Oh, is that only practice? Oh, I want to do real game. Let's go. Change the direction or keep them. I want to play the game. Wait a second. Read instructions and... Oh, okay. P was play instruct. I want to play the game. G. Uppercase. And then we want advanced. Enter a number of minutes. We'll do just 5 minutes or 6 minutes. There we go. Okay, so for some reason I pushed the practice mode of it. That's correct. The same Al Lowe. I don't know for sure if this is the very first game he ever programmed, but it's up there as one of the very first. So you can see even it says Sierra Online. The original version was by his company, Sunnysoft or Sidesoft. Okay, so the way this game works is you just move around and you're bopping the letters in alphabetical order. So it's slightly like a maze game, but you can see... Oh, let's go here. I want to bop that letter. There you go. All you do is you punch it. You have like a punching bag on the side. And you move yourself around and you just punch the letters in alphabetical order. That's it. We're playing the advanced level of an educational title. There you go. And you just make your way around bopping the letters in alphabetical order. And that's it. That's BYTE. You got the idea. But it is interesting to see an educational title not just have, typing in numbers or doing something like a quiz. It has you controlling and playing it like a maze game. So I say, of all the games we've seen, it's still around the bad range. I'll say 2 stars, but better than most educational titles, at least. So there you go. There's BYTE. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Yeah, here we go. Been waiting for this one.
can calculate like Einstein. He's more fun than you can tell. He'll do your sums and dads and mums. He'll play you games as well.
Radar Rat
There's
Race.
a genius in the family. He's got the key to all the doors. A genius in the family. Big 20 from Commodore.
That was the best commercial for the Commodore VIC-20. I'd say even better than William Shatner's commercials, because is that ABBA that's playing in the background? It really sounds like they hired ABBA to sing a commercial for the VIC-20. Yeah, it's so 80s. So we are in Europe, if you haven't guessed, playing the Commodore VIC-20. This is Brainstorm, which we don't have a box or screenshots for. We're just going to pop in and play some Brainstorm at the beginning of March 1982 by Pixel Productions. The glow and the haze really makes me want to buy a Commodore VIC-20. All right, we're here. Instructions. How do you play this game? The Scions are friendly enough to Terrans, but their telepathic emissions are dangerous to the human being, so humans must never be in the proximity of a greater number of Scions. In this scenario, we find 3 human explorers and 3 Scion guides on an expedition across one of the Great Crystal Plains on PSI. The humans are Abe, Bob, and Sid. The Scions have unlikely names like Dog, Ebb, and Fred. There is a small raft that only can carry 2, but although the humans can all row, Fred is the only Scion with enough mental muscle to propel the raft. You have to get all 6 across the river without the Scions. Oh, Brainstorm! So if that sounded like a mental puzzle, that's what this game is. This is literally a video game that's a mental puzzle exercise, which is the very first we've ever seen. Now, but I'm familiar with on mainframe computers they had these. They just took a mental puzzle and then put it in, plugged it in, and you had to answer it by typing it in. Yeah, it's kind of similar to the fox and chicken puzzle, right? All right, let's speed it up. There we go. So trip 1, who goes across? And all you do is use your keyboard to say, I want A and D. Okay, looks good. And then who goes back over the trip? Let's do D. Oh, there's no rower. Oh, okay, so I can't go back. What about A? There we go. So A can go back. And see, that's how the game works. It's just a puzzle game. And this is kind of true to the puzzle games you saw in 1982. This is what I expect to see when I think of a puzzle video game. And it's cool that it's a logic puzzle. So I'd say of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's still, I wouldn't say bad, but it's subpar, 2.5 stars, because once you figure it out, is that it? That's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll say 2 stars. It's bad. Because once you understand the puzzle, what are you going to do with it? You can solve it really, really fast. All right, so there's Brainstorm with one of the best commercials for the Commodore VIC-20. Go out and buy one today. No, it does not. All right, we're moving on. It is the latest issue of BYTE magazine, the March issue. Let's take a look at what's new in the world of computers with BYTE magazine, March 1982. The front of the magazine and the majority of the magazine is about printers, which this is another pretty boring magazine. I'm just going to breeze by a few things. Let's scroll through the ads and go to the table of contents. The first thing they bring up is they say that there's 4 new products from Radio Shack. An article by Chris Morgan. The 4 new products, I don't have all 4, but the big ones is the TRS-80 Model 16 is what he's going to be talking about, the PC2 Pocket Computer, and the DT1 Video Terminal. And then as we go through the rest of the table of contents, the most of it is about printing, like the front cover stated. And BYTE magazine is another journal that's hundreds and hundreds of pages long. You can see this goes to 500 pages long for this one. This is all extremely technical, and sadly, this issue doesn't have anything involving games, which is what we want to focus on. So, honestly, a lot of the stuff they talk about, it's not super integral for what we want to check out. I wanted to see, oh, there we go. We got one review of Apple Panic, which is very fitting since we already played Apple Panic on 3 different systems. But that's the only thing. Oh, and there's also a review of Dino Wars. So this one has Apple Panic and Dino Wars, but that's all that this magazine has for us for BYTE one. Oh, page 68. Where do you see that one? Oh, yes. Yeah, page 68 where the BYTE Arcade has. Yes. There we go. So there you go. There's BYTE Magazine, the March issue from 1982. We will be seeing magazines that focus primarily on games, but BYTE every now and then has some interesting tidbits. All right, and with that, let's press forward and see our next game. It's time to go to the IBM, and this is C.I.A. Adventure. Another title that we don't have a box or any artwork for, so let's go right in. Pop in C.I.A. Adventure by Hugh Lambert, published by International PC Owners in the beginning of March 1982. Yes, here we go. C.I.A. Adventure, we're on a busy street. I can see a tall office building. So C.I.A. Adventure is a straight-up interactive fiction game. Enter your name, partner. Let's do Chrono. Oh, Caps is on. Okay. IBM is one of the few systems that is giving us the upper and lower case. I'm trying to think of another computer off the top of my head. Writing on the wall says, if you want instructions, type orders, please. Okay, orders, please. I don't know how to do that. What? Oh, does it need to be in caps? Yes, it does. Orders, please. There we go. Yeah, and it's in 80 columns. Yeah, good point. What do you think we should do? Oh, your mission, Chrono, is to recover a ruby that's being used in top-secret government projects as part in a laser projector. You will have a partner who is not too bright and needs to tell him what to do. Use two-word commands like get notebook, go west, look door. So two-word text parser. Some commands use only one word like inventory. If you want to see changes in your surrounding, type look. Okay, it's the typical two-word text parser game. Why is the CIA getting involved with a laser projector and a ruby? Why are we going to recover a ruby? The CIA shouldn't be doing that. The government should be sending them somewhere else. Okay, so let's go to write inventory. Yes. All right, so after we did orders, please, we're now on the busy street and office building. So let's go building. The doorman looks at my badge and then throws me out. Oh, darn. All right, so if I look at my inventory, do I have to type the whole thing or can I do I? There we go. I'm presently carrying a CIA identification badge. Oh, okay. So you show them the badge, then you move inside. Yeah, maybe it is an MI6, but this is in North America. So CIA in North America, I don't think they should be going after rubies. All right, so drop badge. Okay, I dropped it. All right, now go building. There we go. We're in the lobby of the building. I can see a large sculpture. The first puzzle, we made it past. I can see a pair of sliding doors. We could easily go north, east, and west. Now, this would be, I believe, the third spy interactive fiction game we played. That's true, yeah. But why is the CIA getting involved in lasers? The Central Intelligence Agency? All right, so let's look doors. There's a button near the doors. All right, push button. The doors open with a whoosh. Okay, go doors. Oh, man, go doors. I'm never going to forget that one. Yes, possibly. All right, so we can see an old-fashioned key, a panel of buttons numbered 1 through 3. Let's get that key. Okay, that's what I'm used to seeing. Most text adventure games don't tell you, you now have the key, or you now get the key. I works, right, for inventory? Nice. There you go. Okay, let's go north. All right, so we're in the lobby of the building. I see a large sculpture, a pair of sliding doors, and then north, south, east, and west. Let's go west. I don't know how to do that. Wait, oh, I said get west. Go west. So we're in the visitor's room. You can see a video cassette recorder. Video cassette. Love it. Sharks with frickin' laser beams. Should Austin Powers get involved? See, we have already played, I think, one game in the UK that was a spy or espionage game. Yeah, this is your usual text-based game. I'd say of all the games we've seen, it works fairly well. So I'll say star rating 3 stars of all the games we've seen to this point. And again, your mileage varies if you want to play a text adventure or not. You know, you're the kind of person who enjoys it, then it's all for you. For all the games we've seen, though, yeah, it's perfectly average. Excellent game for 1982. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to England.
Will your PC have the power?
You may have noticed 1982 is Information Technology Year. There's
Quite
a
right.
Minister of Information Technology, and the government is even spending a great deal of money on publicizing it. But what is information technology? All it really means is the world of computers. But why have they suddenly become so important, and what should we, as non-computer experts, know about them? Well, that's exactly what I shall be finding out during this series. One thing I know already, don't expect the computer revolution to happen tomorrow. It's happening now.
Yes, it's happening right now. This is the very first game we've ever played for the BBC Micro. It first released in December or the end of 1981, and because computers don't really have launch dates or titles like consoles do, there's not games that are coming out right when the computer comes out, because they're mostly based on making applications or software first, and games, sadly, are second on home computers. So what we just saw there was the opening of the computer program, which was debuting in 1982 in England. And this was the government getting involved, letting everybody know we got to get smart with computers. We got to get them out there. And to lead the pack was Acorn-developed BBC and the microcomputer system. And so what we've never done before is giving you some quick specs, because we have the brand new system down there in the bottom left corner. You can guess whether it's the Model A or Model B, but let me give you some very brief specs of this computer and how it shapes up to the other computers that are out there at the time. This one has a CPU using MOS 6502A, running about 2 megahertz. For memory, if you got the Model A, it's 16 kilobytes, and Model B was 32 kilobytes. For video, majority of these systems was on PAL, obviously, because it's in the UK, and it does UHF, composite, or TTL RGB. The display has 8 different modes, 5 graphic modes, 2 text modes, and then 1 teletext. The majority of the graphics modes we're going to be playing on is 640 by 256 with 8 colors on the Motorola 6845. For the sound, this uses the Texas Instruments SN76489. It has 4 channels, and it's all in mono. And the majority of the media we're going to be playing on the BBC Micro is the cassette tape. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our very first game for the BBC Micro. Very exciting. This game is Colossal Adventure. And very fitting, because it's another text adventure game based on one of the very first text adventure games. So this is by Level 9 Computing on the BBC 32K, or the BBC Model B. Flip it over on the back, and you can see Colossal Adventure is a full-scale adventure, a full-scale version of the original classic mainframe game Adventure. 70 added locations all crammed into your Micro. This massive pure text adventure has over 200 locations and a wealth of puzzles, which may take months to solve. This is part of Level 9's, I think it's the first version of the other Middle-earth trilogy they're going to make. You can see down there at the bottom they have also Adventure Quest and Dungeon Adventure. This is the very first one, based on the very first adventure. Yeah, soon we're going to be seeing all the Disney games, but the big reason I wanted to have a fanfare for this is because in 1982, England is pushing and pushing to get computers out there, and we're going to get more and more computers pumped into the homes. We've already seen 2 or 3 kind of big ones on the show, which was the ZX80, the ZX81, and the Acorn Atom. And now this one marks the beginning of, we're going to have a lot more computers and games that are going to be made in England. All right, so we have another artwork for Colossal Adventure. We have 2 different box fronts. A classic one looks more like Lord of the Rings there, and then a more animated one with a serpent, some kind of enemy coming on, but definitely fantasy-based. And then the cassette tape we'll be playing on the 32K, which is insane if you think of the games we played on the Acorn Atom and the ZX81. All right, for different versions, this one has quite a few different ways you can load up and start the game. Let's pop in the cassette plate and play Colossal Adventure. Released at some point at the beginning of March 1982. Yes, let's go. Now, if you play any Colossal Cave Adventure, it's pretty much the same idea. So we have this new computer, one of the best computers you could play in England at the time, and we're just using it to display text right now. Well, I don't know for sure if it killed the market over in North America, but I do know that the market in England and Europe was very different because they had consoles that were more popular. compared to we had in North America. And we're right here in the beginning of where the UK is going to start coming on top and Japan's going to come on top and surpass North America, and then North America's market's going to go down. I have no idea what's going to happen on the show, though, when this happens. We're right here in the beginning. This is marking the beginning of the rise of the United Kingdom with the industry. Oh, yes. Yeah, the NES market wasn't nearly as big as it was in North America. Yeah, I don't know if it was the computers, but there was so much computers in the home at the time and so much software being copied and passed around that, I mean, why have an NES? You know, you can get it all on your computer at home. Welcome to Colossal Adventure, the original classic mainframe adventure from level 9. You're standing beside a small brick building at the end of a road from the north. River flows south. North is an open country, and all around it is a dense forest. It's just like Colossal Cave, but like they said on the back of the box, this one changes a few things up and adds a few things. All right, so let's go south. You're in a valley beside a stream which cascades along a rocky bend on its way south. The valley is lined by woodland trees, and you can hear birds singing from their branches. Oh, just beautiful. Let's go east. You're in a pleasant wood on the east side of a valley. You can hear the sound of rushing water from a river below. Now what? Let's go northeast. You are lost in the forest. What now? Let's go south. You're at a picnic spot littered with small tables and benches carved roughly from tree trunks. In the center, a large stenciled sign saying "No litter" is attached to one of the tables. There are some sandwiches here. Oh, get sandwiches. Get those sandwiches. Yes, take a dip. We need to try that one too. Okay, can we eat sandwiches? Sandwiches. You're already carrying it. Oh, did I say? No, I want eat. Eat sandwiches. Please be more specific. Chew sandwiches? All right, so we got the sandwiches. Let's go east. You're in a pleasant wood on the east side of a valley. You can hear the sound of rushing water from a river below. All right, let's head down. You're in a valley beside a stream which cascades along the rocky bend. And now let's go north. You're standing beside a small brick building at the end of a road from the north. A river flows to the south, and to the north is an open country. All around is a dense forest. Take a dip. Does it work? No. I don't think it does, because I think this is only a 2-word text parser. Drop sandwich. Did it. Dropped it. All right, let's go north, or we already did that. We went north. Let's go in. Let's go in the building. We're in the building with a well in the middle of the only room. A rusty ladder leans down the well into darkness. There's a bunch of keys here, small brass lamp, and an empty bottle. So it's very similar to Colossal Cave Adventure. They've sprinkled in a few things, and this one just hits right home. It's exactly like Colossal Cave. Once you're in the building, then you grab the keys and brass lamp, and then make your way down, finding treasures. And they add things that are a little more specific to Middle Earth because, I mean, come on, it's England. We got to go to Middle Earth, right? And I believe this trilogy of games just gets more and more into like you're playing a Lord of the Rings game. So this original Colossal Cave was fantasy, and they just hit on it right on the head. Let's play an actual fantasy game. Let's play Lord of the Rings. But there you go. That is a small snippet of what it's like to play the very first game that we've ever seen on the channel. I'd love to have anybody in England tell me which games came out on the BBC Micro before that we could play, because everything else I saw was like demos and software applications, and this was the very first one that was a game that we could play on the BBC Micro. So of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's still about standard game. I'm going to say 3 stars for Colossal Adventure. A perfectly average game, but marks the beginning of the big games that are going to come out in the UK and the flood of the market in the UK. All right, it's time to put pause on our video game playing with the major event continuing in March 1982. That's it for today, and like I always say, thank you so much, all those parents that bought computers for their kids in the UK. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.